Hi. Hi, Lapras. Hi, Loki. Good luck with your D&D stuff, and thank you for the lurk. I really appreciate it. Let me actually switch scenes while I'm still holding my phone and posting on social media. But there are people here, and I feel like talking to you, so hi. Hi. How we doing? Hi, stars. What was I doing? What am I forgetting to do? I know I'm forgetting to do something, which is part of the reason why I brought out this Post-it pad today. And before we do anything else today, I'm going to write down a list of the things that I need to do to start up stream. I may miss things, but if I have a list to start with, then we can improve on the way it goes. That sentence doesn't really make sense. Just go with it. I was getting rid of a Discord notification. That was the other thing I needed to do. Because I am still running Discord open to see if my laptop can handle it 2 streams in a row. Thank you, Loki. I appreciate it. But I need this, and I need to stop going, oh, well, I'm managing. It's fine. I also need a pen that works for this. Let's just use a pencil. That is the 2B one. Of course I would pick the 2B one. That's not what I want. I want this. Okay. Yeah, like, because I've been saying I need to do this every single time, and then I don't do it because I'm like, well, I managed just fine today, but it's going to make it so much easier on my brain. I also changed the focus on the camera a little bit. You guys are closer down now, which I think the camera has a better job focusing on. I don't think it's perfect still. I don't think it's ever going to be perfect because this guy sucks butt. But I tried. I think it's a little better than it was last time, but like who fucking knows, man. Okay, startup list. Because your girl's got the brain weasels, and some days they're better than others. So, I did also test out the Twitch alerts, and they are making sound today. At least they were when I wasn't live. So they should be good. They weren't working properly last time. But if they don't work again, then I think that means that it's just my computer being overtaxed, which makes sense. I could also try autofocus for this, but it unfocuses and refocuses, and that gives me motion sickness sometimes, so I didn't want to deal with that. But if that's preferable for you guys, then just let me know and that's fine. Oh yeah, I'm sure, Lapras. Don't use up all your data. Or your data, however you want to say it. But it's always good to see you. What's my first step in getting ready? Move stuff to living room is probably the first step. So I need to move my water. I need to move my tea. I need to move my laptop. And stand, I suppose. I need a charging cord for said laptop. I need my sketchbook. Phone. And usually my iPad. Because I usually have references up on that. Fill water. Get beverage. I'm realizing that I pulled stuff out to make myself electrolytes this morning and then didn't refill it. So that's a fun thing that's sitting empty in the kitchen right now. Oh yeah, no, I totally feel that, Lapras. Remind me to send you my energy playlist sometime, because I have a specific, I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down so I don't forget. And I don't know why I just spelled out your full government Twitch name, but I sure did. Send energy playlist. Because maybe you just need some different energy music. But I have a specific playlist that I use that is just called Energy and Vibes. And it's all like positivity music, mostly. Or ones that really slap. Energy playlist. I know how to write words. No, I don't. I need to plug in and turn on light, which we'll probably have to turn this light down at some point because the sun's coming up. Yay! And light. Ooh. Almost dropped my pencil. I need to get paint water. Open. Logi before Streamlabs. Check camera settings. Turn on laptop fan. Stream title. / category. Switch to multi sound with that one probably doesn't make sense to anybody. That's fine. I can explain it if anybody cares. Apple is just, I have a Mac laptop. It was a gift. But they have a really stupid way to capture desktop audio, which is none. So I have to use a different program to capture any desktop audio at all, which ends up meaning that I capture all of the desktop audio, but I need to switch to that source. Otherwise, you guys can't hear anything. Check music. Check mic. What am I forgetting? I think that's it for now. If I think of something else, I'll write it down. But there, we got to start on it. I don't know why I've been so adamant that I not do that. Also, it's cold today, so you're going to see me pull down and then push up my sleeves repeatedly. It's like 8 degrees out. We're all the way up to 9. 8 is about -13 Celsius, so it's a little chilly today. What else do I have to say today? I did do resin. If you didn't see on my socials, I did do resin on the pendant, and it turned out great. So it's super cute, and I love it, and it's shiny and protected. And it's great. And I did it right the first time. I think that I can do a little bit better because there is a little bit of leakage over the edge here, which I don't think is a big deal. But it could be done better. This is also just like a cheapo chain that I had hanging around because I wanted to test. I'm not 100% sold on the way that they have this little attachment here. It feels like it's not super stable. So if I'm selling these, I might change that. But I did order some chains that actually match the pendants. So we're gonna do more of these at some point. I did do 2 more paintings for this yesterday. Yeah, you guys were really cold, Lapras. We're just having a cold spurt. It'll probably go back to normal soon, but I can show you guys the ones that I did yesterday because that's where my serotonin was. So I have some little a pumpkin stack here. I have some little sushis that I think are cute. And then I have some sketches. So I have this one I erased a bit because I was getting ready to paint it, and then I decided to go read a book instead. But I have 2 stacked gummy bears. I haven't decided what color they should be. I have some mushrooms, and I'm thinking I do like a rocket pop, but I want to do it maybe pan pride colors, I was thinking. So I might do that at some point. But again, I think that I enjoy doing these, but because they're so small, I feel like they don't read on stream very well. So I might just do those in like my own time. Oh, I also added a sticker to my travel palette because I opened it. I have the sticker on it so that when I open it, the paint palette is up. I'm just going to show you guys what happens. Let me move the paper before I do this. Because if I open it this way, a bunch of the paint comes out. And that's not helpful to me. I think I may legitimately like rough up the inside of these plastic pallets a little bit because this is a little ridiculous. It's not very travel friendly, if I'm being honest. But I dumped paint, little paint squares all over my bed yesterday. They were all dry, so that's something, but it still irritated me. You're purple, probably, I think. Get in the square, you dork. Please, work with me here. But the fact that these fall out when they're dry is kind of obnoxious. Like, I get it, but also I kind of wish that these pots weren't plastic because they don't have a lot of grip to them, so it doesn't hold onto the paint. I'm wondering if maybe I could like pry them out of the wood, but like eventually you're getting the wood wet, so it's gonna be an issue. But my solution to that, instead of doing anything like really complicated, was just to put a sticker on the side where I'm supposed to open it from. And I thought this one was good for that. This is by Chu Mai, who also did the baked bean Diglett sticker that made me laugh so hard that I started snorting. Do I have anything else to say? I don't know that I do. Well, I mean, I'm gonna come up with stuff to say, but I don't think any of it's particularly relevant. Oh, I did bring up my mini that I was talking about last time, the first one I ever painted, that has a skull on the end of her little whip here. Because it was a mace and I didn't like it, so I altered it. I cut the mace off and put some cord and then stuck a skull from another mini on the end of it. Because I don't know, beating somebody to death with a skull just seems kind of cool. Maybe I can zoom this in and it won't be too bad. We're gonna find out. That way I can show you better. Here, let's see. Gonna zoom. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. See? And then the skull. So yeah, that was the first mini I ever painted. It's the only one I still have of the ones that I painted. I don't think it's the best one, but I like it. So, let me unzoom now. Boop. I want to... Yeah, 21F isn't too bad. Like, that's livable. Although it sucks for you because you still have to walk a bunch of places. And I have this here so that I can show Lesbian when Lesbian comes in. Or if Lesbian comes in. You know how it be. Okay. We're painting a gummy bear. And you can't really see it because I did light orange. Because we're going to make an orange gummy bear. But the gummy bear is this big. Which is not how big gummy bears are normally. Because we did really small, so I was like, well, what if we did big? And if I do it orange, then it counts for the color of the month. So, yep. Travel safe. See you later, Lapras. Thanks for popping in. Oh my gosh. Sunday is Jick's Streamiversary. I forgot about that. He's been having too much bad shit happen to him. I need to have words with the universe about it, I think. Let me grab paintbrushes. Generally help when painting. I think to start out with, do I want a bigger one than that? Maybe I want this guy. Do I have other words to say? I had something in my head and then it disappeared. Oh, I remember what it was. So the thing I find comforting about small paintings is that if like you can't fit as many details in because it's tiny, right? So you get like to hide behind that a little bit. So if something looks a little wonky, people are like, oh, well, they made it really tiny. So of course it's not going to look perfect. But with big ones, you really got to fit those details in because you have the space. So I find doing bigger stuff much scarier than doing smaller stuff. So we're going to try it and we'll see how it goes. If it's a disaster, then you know what? At least I tried. But it does scare me a little bit. So we're doing something a little scary today. But that's okay. Because scary things are always easier with company. I am going to tape the top and the bottom. I'm planning on leaving this paper white. But I did really put the gummy bear and its shadow like really close to the edge here. But since you're leaving the paper white and it doesn't go all the way up to the top or the bottom, we can tape the top at the bottom and it'll help with the warping a little bit. I don't think it'll be too bad because this is like good paper. But you know what? I can tape a lot of this. Let's put it where you guys can actually see it though. That would be important. I think I'm gonna sneeze. Maybe not right now, but sometime soon. Oh, I also remembered to bring out a kneaded eraser. Because I wanted one last time and I didn't know where there was one. This is like, can I put this like here? And then you guys don't need to see the reflection of the light in the table. That works. Okay. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I always feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't know. I think that's just the vibe. Oh, I did make a weird post on Tumblr last night, so if you follow me on Tumblr, there you go. What am I doing? I guess just getting into this. I don't see any reason to put it off. Well, I mean, I do see a reason to put it off, but it's only because I'm scared. I also don't really know where I want to start with this. Maybe just putting the highlights in, blocking in highlights and lowlights, maybe. I do also, where did I just put those? It's like I have scratch paper, so let me just conceptualize what colors I want to use for this. Because like, I do want a little bit of yellow, but which yellow? I think New Gamboge is probably the right call. This one is light hands and it's much more yellow versus warm toned here. So this is green tone and this is orange tone. But I also have this guy, which I think is probably like too straight on yellow. I do also just have like red and yellow, so. But I think for the most part, these shadows are maybe I want to shade with like a maroon. That's a little intense. I don't mean maroon either, I mean magenta. But maybe a little bit of that in with the... it's a little bit too muddy, I think, so maybe not. Maybe just do it with red. But I think... I maybe should have thought this out a little bit better. I just kind of like sketched this on Wednesday and was like, that's fine. We don't need to think about it again until we stream. That was a lie. That was the devil talking. Yeah, I think I want to do the lighter tones with New Gamboge, and we'll go from there. Because we have like the light shining through the gummy bear that goes like around here, which doing the shadow. Would probably be easier if I'd wet the paper first, but sometimes you just go and you don't think it through. It's not like it's the end of the world. I do vaguely understand what I'm doing now. Wild concept. But I do want to loosen up this edge a little bit. And I could probably lighten up those pencil marks, but I think I'll leave them. My intention with this one, I'll tell you guys a secret. My intention with this original is to, one, see if any of my patrons want it. Because my patrons always get first dibs on stuff. But if none of them want it, I'm going to send it to Lib. That is my intention. They're having a rough time this week. Which sucks. I don't like it when my friends go through rough times and I can't help. Because I'm just like that as a person. I want to help. Yeah, I maybe should have brought gummy bears over here to eat. But also maybe I don't need that much sugar like first thing in the morning. Maybe. Maybe I do need that much sugar. I did put a lot of sugar in my tea today because I was like, you know what? You know what? I deserve cheap energy. I really wanted to stay in bed this morning because, like, it's cold, right? So anytime it's cold, you want to stay in bed. But also I wanted to stream. And these two things were at odds. So I did spend, like, way longer in bed than I should have this morning. But we all deserve a chance to hang out in bed. We do. It's the truth. I do not understand what my markings here were supposed to mean. Like that? Is that what I meant? Past me? Nobody knows. I did, I reblogged this on Tumblr a couple days ago, but there is like an app that has like free games and there's no ads. The app is free and it's just kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's got like Minesweeper and stuff, so it's like old computer games that have been put into an app for free. And one of those is plotting out like colors into a map, but you need to make it, yeah, the puzzle one, but you need to make it so that none of the colors touch, and I've been having a lot of fun with that one. I got stuck on one this morning though. I definitely clicked the solve button on that one. But the brain, you want to finish a sentence? Oh, that's the other thing I needed to say. I have officially added the ADHD tag to my stream tags, which was a big step for me mentally. So you should be proud of me. But yeah. Yeah, I poked a couple of them, so there's a few, but it does have some flashing in it, just as a warning. So the color one, like when you solve a puzzle, it does like a flash to tell you that you completed it, which I would prefer that it not do that. But I can look away when I solve it. Thank you, stars. I guess there's a little bit more up here. I didn't... There, that's better. Up, 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 up. I guess right here is one. Right through here. And right here. So because this is the reference, this is from the reference photo that we took stream before last. Is that right? Stream before last? So the little A on its chest is for, if you can even see that, I don't know if you can. is for Albanese, which is the brand of the gummy. Okay, so those are mostly the light reflections from inside the gummy bear. I am gonna do this right through here too, I think. It's not quite the same, but... And I do want to go through and put this underneath the white areas too, I think. My plan is to try and do most of this with the white of the paper and not adding anything on top of it, but I know at the end I'm going to add stuff on top of it because I'm just like that. On Friday, last week, yeah, that seems right. You'd think I'd remember what I do, but I don't. I don't know, that's just how it be. You don't remember nothing, ever. I also feel like my laptop is like tilted too far away from me. Let's tilt it back. I don't know, there's just like so much going on in my brain at all times that it just does not register a lot of the time what things are going on. Okay, I did that, but I guess I have a little bit right in his little gummy crotch. Right here. But just a little bit. Like that. At some point I am going to get up and go get my electrolytes because it's freaking cold. So I should drink those at the beginning of the day before I get a headache from how dry it is. Right through here too. A little bit. There is like a clear line that I haven't put in here where the edge of the gummy bear is, which may bite us in the butt later. We'll find out. Okay, maybe, no, I don't want to do that. I was gonna say maybe I want the hands of yellow in the highest highlights, but no. Because that will end up looking muddy because it's more green toned. Why is it that the people who always tag you in Discord are the people that you don't want to talk to? Like, one, I'm busy, so any notification annoys me a little bit, but also I don't want to talk to you. I don't like you. Which I don't think I've been very secretive about, if I'm being honest. Let's see. Do I want to build up this color, or do I want to go straight into the other orange? Maybe I also want to get some of my cadmium orange out. Do I? Questions. No, I don't think I need it. We'll see. We'll see. I'm just going to continue not knowing what I'm doing and do that loudly. Okay, because we do have some darker here. I would also love it if this frickin' paintbrush would stop picking fuzzies up from my sweatshirt. You're not helping the cause here, bub. I maybe should just focus on like a single area at a time. I don't know. And maybe that would make it easier on my brain. I say as if anything is ever easy for my brain. Right through there. And I do want some yellow where I left that. I do think I should turn down this light a little bit. It feels too bright to me. Let me do that. Boop, boop, boop. Because it is quite a sunny day outside today, which is what happens when it's heckin' cold. Okay, buddy, this song is too chill. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Skip. Thank you. This one is also really chill, but it's better. Alright. There's one Harris Heller, who was the artist for that song that I just skipped. There's a Harris Heller album that's really just like lullaby music, which is nice and chill, but like it's the morning and I do not need to be convinced to go back to sleep. That's not what we're doing right now. We've got a little bit of a bit right here. That's a great sentence. Good job, brain. Is there a spot in here where I need it to be lighter? Right through there a bit. Not very intensely. So we will do that by adding more pigment on top of the other spots. I do want a little bit of this right here. I also want this paintbrush to stop leaving random black hairs all over my freaking painting. What the hell? Who said that you could do this? I sure didn't. Pick this one up, maybe. Annoying! That actually may be a sign that I need to wash my, my thingy-mahoosit. Brush wipe. It is getting a little grubby. But you know what? That's why I made it two-sided. I do need to wash that at some point. My, I think my most popular clip... Hey, Bean! Hi, Cam! How was the plane? I'm assuming he survived since you say he's there. But I don't know. He could be there and not have survived. I don't know. I don't know your lives. Let's see. We need some darker bits through here. Yeah, that's fair. The jet lag can be really bad, especially if you have to do like those super intense red eyes where you stay up for like 6 million years. Or I guess some people sleep on planes. I am not one of those people. So. Want some Nougat Rouge inside the mouse here. Right through there. Like that. Cool. Yeah, I think maybe I should have done the line work for this closer to when I was actually painting it, because they all meant things when I did them, but I no longer remember what they meant. But the world moves on. See, right here is the orange. Boop, boop. Hey, Cam! Yeah, jet lag is a pain in the butt. Thank you so much for the resub. I appreciate it. Yep, I'm chugging along, man. I'm still feeling the winter woes is what I've been calling it lately, but still chugging along. But I guess these winter woes aren't as bad as has been in the past, which I mentioned on Tumblr last night. I don't know if I should talk about it on stream. Like, I don't mind talking about it on stream, but I feel like it's kind of an intense topic to just drop on people. Do have a little bit of a darker spot right here. Oh yeah, yeah. How cold is it there? Thank you, stars. I know you know what's up. just do a little wash of gamboge right here. I also should finish my morning tea before it gets cold. This is plastic, so I can't use my tea warmer on it. Because it'll melt. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Remind me to show you what my driveway looks like at some point. Here, I'll write that on my list next to the thing I need to do for Lapras. Send Cam snow photo. There's also been like an intense amount of snow many places, but we've had snow down since, when's the last time we had a proper like thaw and melt? The beginning of November? Maybe? And it all just builds up. Okay, what am I doing here? I've got... Okay, I understand what this line is. I figured out something. This is also a little bit off where the A is, but that's okay. We can do it. This kind of does this, and then we go down here. Like, yay. All right. Oh yeah, I'm sure. It's definitely all about what you're used to. To be clear, I'm not like making fun of anybody who doesn't deal with snow very often, because like it really is just what you're used to dealing with and your body acclimates to stuff. So like I grew up in Portland, Oregon, like near Portland. And back then, if there was snow, it was like 24/7 hour news coverage, kind of scary, because we like never got snow. Which is not the case for Portland anymore. But it was definitely a change to move up here. I need to decide what color I'm shading this with, and it may just be a red or orange. Because the way I'm doing this, we are going to end up with some lines in our paint, which I don't think is a bad thing, because then it will look like it was painted, which it was. So, but yeah, if I went to the south, I would probably melt. I went to, well, near LA once in my life because one of my friends paid for me to go to VidCon in 2017 after bad times to give me something to look forward to specifically. And it was hot. It was hot. It was hot. I could not. We went to like Knott's Berry and we went to Universal. It was so hot. How do people live there? Ugh. And again, like, it's what you're used to, but I'm not used to that at all. Which is funny because my grandma lives in California, but she lives in like super northern California where it used to be pretty chilly. Like, again, not snow chilly, but it's like right on the coast, so it didn't get super hot. My great grandma used to live in LA, actually. We drove past her old apartment when our Uber got lost, taking us to Knott's Berry, because she lived like right next to Disneyland back in the day. Oh god, punk in heat is also something. Like, goths in hot temperatures are stronger than anybody else who have ever existed. It's the commitment. Yeah, I'm sure it's similar in a fair amount of Europe. Like my dad went to Spain at one point, And I don't know that I could survive Spain, if I'm being honest. I get too hot. I'm also fat, which keeps you pretty warm most of the time. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. I mean, yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I guess I don't really know what Cam looks like, so I just assume that he dresses like an actual plague doctor all the time. I don't know. I don't know your life. um, what? What is this shape? Can I use my brain for like half a second, please? The answer appears to be no. There's also like a weird little fault in this gummy bear right here, and I haven't fully decided if I want to add that in or not. Because like, it is visually interesting, but it also just looks kind of funky. It's just like a little bubble, I think. But I did draw it on the page, so I might as well do it. We're going for it. We're going for it. And then once it's done, I'll be like, I like it except for this. Well, that's fair. You gotta travel light. And not bring anything that you aren't worried about losing. Yeah, yeah, thank you. So I don't think Liv is lurking. We'll see. But my plan with this, once I finish it, if none of my Patreons want it, is to send the original to Lib. Because this would be a picture of one of the orange gummy bears that I'm going to send to them. And I've also got, for one of these necklaces like I did last time, I did add the resin to it and it ended up fine, but I also have a tiny painting sketched out of gummy bears that I might send them. I know they aren't super into jewelry, but I figure it'll be cool to, like, I don't know, hang someplace if they feel like that. We're just gonna send a bunch of gummy bear stuff to Lib, because I can. I have this power. And also, if I'm already sending a box of, like, if I need to get a box big enough to send these gummy bears, I might as well shove it full of other stuff, right? That's normal. I don't know, every time I do something like this, I think about how, like, weirdly obsessive I am about people. Like, I'm a lot to deal with. Because if I like you and I see something that you like, I'm just gonna get it for you. You know, you offhandedly mentioned 7 months ago that you really needed a new mouse pad, so here's a new mouse pad that made me think of you. I'm just like this. I can't help it. I'm a lot better than I used to be about respecting boundaries around that, though. But we are going to be doing so many layers on this sucker to get the deep oranges. Like, yay. We have a bit right here. I do have a reference photo up. I think I said that already, but I'll say it again. I have a reference photo up for this. We've got that right there. We have another guy right here. Oh, I did email Raw Fury again. They still haven't gotten back to me. They automatically closed my last support ticket because I hadn't, like, I stopped messaging them over the holidays because I was like, nobody's going to be working. That was way too pigmented for this layer. Can you calm down a little, please? Thank you. They said they were going to check with the team. Haven't gotten a message back yet, which I'm not shocked about. But I really do legitimately think that they're like, at some point she'll go away, and they're wrong. Yeah, have fun, guys. Enjoy your time. Good to see you, and I'm glad you traveled safe. Stay warm. Staying warm is always easier with somebody else, though, so. Catch you around. Pick a spot right there on that foot. There are some spots that I probably want to slap D'Ambrose down on. Maybe I want to do the shadow. The shadow's going to be like the easy part, I think. So maybe I want to save that for last. Yep, I will be posting. I have found the quote feature on various websites really nice for doing that. Because one of the issues with the way social media is set up currently is that you don't necessarily see stuff near when it's posted, which can be really difficult when I'm posting like, hey, I'm going live, and then people are liking it 3 days later, and I'm like, I am no longer live. Okay, I need to let that area dry a little bit. What are you? You should just be light orangey, I think. Have I got a little bit of a darker along the edge here? Yes. Like that a little bit. Yeah, and so I've been quote tweeting with like the finished stuff being like, this is what we did today. And I think that does help a little bit. Like I still have people liking the tweet, like, or retweeting it sometimes at like way afterwards, which I'm like, I appreciate the support, but How has it been an hour already? That's wild. Okay. What is time? Nobody knows. Okay. Right here, we've got a fair amount of dark and then like a pop of light right here. So let's carve that out right quick. There's a spot right there that should be New Gambogi. Let's see here. Like that. Although I have started, I mentioned a while back, I don't remember exactly when because my brain is a sieve, but I mentioned a little bit ago that I'd stopped using the word Twitch in my tweets because it was ending up with a bunch of random people coming in trying to sell me shit. I started putting it back in, and I'm still getting some of those like GFX artist scammers even if they aren't really scammers, they act like scammers, um, following me on Twitter, which is like whatever. But so far we haven't had anybody come in here and act a fool again. So I think I will keep doing that because it is helpful for people to know where I'm actually doing stuff. It would be nice if people would just like not suck. But that is, I think, being a little too optimistic about life. Okay, I have a little bit of a light spot here, but we can go pretty dark right through here. We've got pretty much the same tone right through here. Yeah, I don't mind so much if they're like following me on Twitter and not interacting with me that much, that's fine. But when they come in here and try to act like they're somebody, I'm not as intrigued by that. That's a fast way to making me cranky. Those people who follow you on Twitter and then 3 seconds later come into your chat and are like, remember me? No, I don't remember you. There's no reason I should remember you. We don't even know each other. How could I remember you? Fuck off. That is maybe my least favorite thing that people do on Twitch, because it's not just the people coming in from Twitter. To be clear, there are actual like regular Twitch users who will come into somebody's chat and be like, remember me? And you look at their like chat history and the last thing they said in chat was 4 months ago and it was, remember me? It's like, get over yourself, buddy. You've done nothing memorable. No, we don't remember you. Yeah. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Don't do that. It's annoying. Pro tip. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, that's too dark. Oops. That's better. I want this right through here. But like also, I basically always mention in my stuff that I'm doing some kind of art. So for somebody to be like, oh, if you want new assets or something to another artist, it's like, sorry, but no. Like, for the most part, I like making my own stuff. So I'm not gonna be commissioning somebody who just followed me on Twitter. That's not a thing that's gonna be happening. Sorry to burst your bubble. Hi, how are you feeling? Any better? And I will hydrate momentarily. I want to fill in this A and then I will take a sippy. Alright. This is still like really bright. It's bright outside today. Actually taking a sip of water and not the tea. Aw, such a flatterer. God, there are so many people I know who are sick right now and it really sucks. I guess it is the season and all, but I'd rather people didn't get sick, generally speaking. Oh, open rewards queue. That's something I forgot on my startup list. I put that down now. Do I remember how to spell Q? Yes. Yeah, it's like when it's the season, but also it's people pretending like a pandemic isn't currently happening. At least in the US it is. It may not be that drastic elsewhere, but I know a bunch of people who have gotten COVID, and the flu is worse than ever this year, and it's just a hot mess. And it's even worse because people are also jackasses, I guess, is the long and short version of it. People don't really care if they protect other people, we've discovered, which is bullshit. Yeah, we're in a big spike right now. I know 12 different people right now who have COVID, and some of them have it for the first time, which sucks. So far, I've managed to not get COVID to my knowledge, but I don't think that's going to last much longer, which is concerning on a number of levels, because I already have weird immune system stuff, and I really don't need more. Okay. Foot. Need to work on foot a little bit here. I still need to get my updated booster. I haven't had time. I'm so busy all the time. It would have been smarter to get it over the break. Because, oh, that's something else I need to talk about. I need to talk about schedule. So I've got some dates for, well, some tentative dates for modeling, because the semester started back up, so it's time for me to get naked again. I love just phrasing it like that, because if you don't know what's happening, you're just like, what? For anybody hanging out who hasn't heard this before, I've been doing nude art modeling for the college classes here at the local college, which is fun, actually. So we're working on getting some schedules set for next semester, and I'm pleased that my proactiveness in mentioning that I would like a schedule earlier than I had been given it previously seems to be working. So I have one Tuesday that I've said I'll take, which will involve me canceling stream. That's in February. I'll put that on the actual schedule here, and I'll remind people when we get there. But it's looking, I'm not the only model anymore, which is also really nice. So we've got 2 other ones who we're all going to rotate. So I'll probably have at least 1 session every other week, which is good. Because that last week where I did 3 sessions in 1 week was not good for me. It was a little intense. But I should be getting proper dates soon. The class that they mostly need models for is on Monday, Wednesday at nights, so that shouldn't affect stream days like at all. But I will keep everybody updated as I know more. Brain function. Who is that? And why does she keep abandoning me? I feel like there was one other thing that I needed to mention today. I guess I already said that I added the ADHD tag. That was one. I did that on a little bit of a whim this morning. But I don't know. This is going to take so many layers to get to the right saturation level, and I'm going to hate that I did it this way, just in case anybody was wondering. This is one of those things about art where like you know how to get it to look the way that you want it to, but also it takes a lot of work and your brain doesn't really feel like that's making actual progress. So it decides to start yelling at you. It's like, no, we actually do need to do this on the low and slow technique. Otherwise, we're not going to be happy with how it turns out, brain. So shut up. There is like a level of desaturation to some of these areas, so I may need to do like a super, super, super light blue in some of these areas to get that to feel right. I'd rather not do that. I would love to have this be like overly saturated and ridiculous because that's the kind of style that I like. But we'll see. We'll see. I say repeatedly, we'll see, as if it's a little spell to keep me safe from my own inner critic. My hand in wet paint. What a shock. I've never done that before. We don't have an emote about it or anything. God, doing such big paintings scares me. This is scary. Because you gotta really put the details in there because you have the space. Okay, where is this line that I'm deciding? Because I feel like I've put it in the wrong spot. My brain has decided that it's higher up, but it's really right there. So let's work on that a little bit. I can also do the shadow at some point because I'll need to let that dry before I can really paint again, because otherwise I'll put my hand in it, which is maybe another argument for doing that last, because I already know what color I want to do for that. That's easy. I'm going to do the warm gray and mix a little bit more orange into it. That's easy peasy, but do need to orangify these feet a little bit, because I've got a few places in here that I have not put pigment in at all. Let's see. This is where the toe bean is in shadow, which is fine. There will be some parts that need to darken up here, but it's nothing too scary. What's everybody reading right now? There's a question. Because I've already finished like 6 books this year in like half a month, which is wild to me. A functional brain? Who's that? Can't be me. Absolutely wild. And really, it's not a functional brain. Really, it's the escapism. But let me have this. Oh, Last Girl Scout. Yeah, I should read that. I wonder if one of my libraries has it. If not, I could probably request it. I requested Natalie's partner's book from my library last year. The am I going to remember the title? I remember the last name is Serpentine because it's such a cool name. Ariana Serpentine. And it was like a spirituality book on inclusive trans practices in pagan and Wiccan religious kind of stuff. So it's like not for me. I'm not pagan or Wiccan, but I dabble in like tarot and stuff like that. So I found that very interesting. I was kind of on the same page already with the book, but it was still a good read, I think. But if my library doesn't have that, I could probably request it. Considering how quickly they accepted my requests last time I did them, because I did a batch of them all at once, I'm guessing that they don't get a lot of requests and they need to accept requests so that they keep a budget for requests. So I think me requesting stuff is actually smart on multiple levels. And I can use my powers for good. They do make you write, like, I was going to say they make you write a little essay. They don't make you write a little essay. They make you, they have a section that says, why do you want this book requested? And I, being me, wrote them little essays. Because I don't know if you knew this about me. I have no chill. Oh, you just wanted me to do like a sentence about why I want to read this book? No. You get an essay about why this book is important to have in a red state. Congratulations. Thank you. Hi, Goose. Oh, we have like, this is like the all streamer chat right now. Let me give shout outs because I haven't written one for Goose yet, but most of you have your own commands. I will write one for Goose at some point. Hey, laptop, you want to send that message? Thank you. And I will also give a shout out to Goose. Because Goose is a streamer too. There you go. Oh, thank you for doing that. I did not actually click on that, but thank you. Yeah, of course. Goose is always very nice about giving shout outs whenever you show up in chat, just for the record. And I need to be better about that. I do tend, the people that I hang out with the most, I give their own little doohickeys. I know words. No, I don't. Okay. And yeah, this guy is very rotund. He's a chubby boy. Yeah. And it's from the reference photos we took last Friday. I think we decided it was last Friday. Yeah, it's easy to forget. For sure. Yeah, I has a system for when people raid him. It does the automatic big shout out, which is really smart. I'm pretty sure that most of the software that other people use for that I can't use because either I'm on Mac or my laptop is so overwhelmed already. If I add too much more, it's going to implode. What am I doing? Nobody knows. Not even me. I do need to carve out this paw a little bit more. It's kind of a funky shape in the photo because of the angle I took the photo, I think. I did take the reference photo for this myself because we sorted gummy bears because I don't like orange gummy bears, and they're Lib's favorite, who I hang out with a lot and also has their own command. And so I just kind of, while I was sorting through this 5-pound bag of gummy bears, I just kind of took reference photos of them so that I could paint them. But yeah, I don't remember where I was going with that. That's fine. I did finally add the ADHD tag to my stream. I think I've been avoiding it. But streaming has kind of made me very aware about how poorly my brain works. Which I kind of came to terms with the fact that I have ADHD last year. Or even if I don't have ADHD, enough of the like hacks and helps for ADHD people track with me that it's a community I feel comfortable hanging out with. But yeah, my brain don't work right, which is not a shock. I've been new, but actually putting the label on it is a step that I wasn't ready for yet. And then I decided to do it today, so. Yeah, I considered that too. Maybe I should go with that one instead of just ADHD. But I am kind of comfortable self-diagnosing at this point. I don't know. I'm always like this, where I feel awkward about inserting myself into a space. I have always been like that. I will always be like that. It's just how it is. Yeah. I don't know. So, like, you guys want to hear a traumatic story from my youth? It's not super traumatic. It's not that bad. But it definitely took some unworking to have happened to me. So, when I was in high school, I dated the same guy through most of high school, um, which was a choice that I made. I don't know that it was necessarily a good choice, but it wasn't a bad choice either. It just was what it was. Um, but I was friends with like one of the two out gay boys at my school. And he and one of my other friends were like my best friends at the time. And they were going to LGBT group meetings. And I hadn't fully decided what label I wanted yet, but I was like, I'm not straight. Like, I'm not comfortable yet giving myself a label. But the way that I do anything, this is just the kind of person that I am, I always research things very heavily before I decide that I'm involved in them. And one of the best ways I think to research is to talk to people who are already in whatever community you're looking at, like whatever label you're thinking you might have. And so I asked to go to the meetings with them. And when the friend who I thought I was talking to on AIM back in the day was not actually the friend I was talking to. It was my other friend pretending to be that friend, and outed that friend to me, and then said that I wasn't gay enough to go to the meetings with them because I was dating a man. And so I didn't actually label myself for about a decade after that, because I was just shut down in that moment, and I didn't want to feel like that again. So, not that this is an issue with anybody I've talked to who's ADHD, just for the record. But I don't know. I'm just one of those people who always researches things very heavily so that I understand the angles, understand what kind of arguments I might run into, that kind of stuff. It's cold up here, Artemis. I know that shocks you. Are we up past 9 degrees? We're all the way up to 12 now, guys. 12 Fahrenheit. We're doing great. Practically tropical. But yeah, so it was like a bad situation on multiple levels. And I was friends with pretty much the only out queer kids in school for a long time. And then that group of 3 actually transferred schools without telling me. So they never actually were my friends. I was just, I don't know, easy to hang out with or something. I don't know. But they definitely transferred schools without telling me, and I found out when I came to school and none of them were there. So yeah, that was fun to lose all of my friends at once. Yeah, I don't know. We were all teenagers. Our brains weren't fully developed. And so maybe that they felt like that was easier. They aren't teenagers anymore. I haven't talked to any of them in ages. There's one that I think about more often positively than the rest. But I had known them the least. So maybe that's why. But yeah, I don't know. This is another reason that I think I'm neurodivergent, is I often will lose an entire group of friends that I didn't realize there was anything wrong. They'll just like abandon me one day and I don't know what's happening, which is part of the reason why I'm so open now about how weirdly obsessive I can be. Because like I know that I'm a lot. And I'm not saying this in like a negative way. I'm just a very intense person when I enjoy somebody's company. And like, there's nothing wrong with that, but I was made to feel like there was something wrong with that for a large portion of my life. So when I'm like, for instance, I flirt with people a lot, right? I knows this for sure. Um, but I tend to like flirt with people and joke if I enjoy their company, right? And I know a lot of people can find that like really off-putting or really intense. So I always say, hey, I've been doing this with you. If any of this part makes you uncomfortable, if I cross a line, please just tell me. Tell me and I will change my behavior immediately and we'll never have to have that conversation again, kind of a thing. But I definitely like try to couch myself by saying, yes, I know I'm like intense, but I will respect boundaries. So please just tell me if something's wrong. So, yeah, for sure. And what's wild is this has happened to me repeatedly. It's not just when I was a teenager, it's not just when I was in college, it's not just after I graduated college. It's like a repeated issue in my life. So at a certain point, you're like, I mean, yes, there's like, I'm the resounding factor in all of these situations. I've been there for all of this, but maybe it's not actually a me issue. Maybe it's just that I was incompatible with the kind of people that I tend to hang out with. So we need to look at some other options. But I think that's also part of why I feel way more comfortable having conversations in text than I do speaking. Because then I have a log to go back through if I feel like I said something wrong and figure out what I was doing wrong, which, to be clear, is not a healthy way to approach interaction, which is part of why I've been trying to stream off the cuff a bit more. Because constantly second-guessing yourself and questioning what you said to make people leave is not a good place to be in your brain. So, yep. And I mean, I do say things weird. Like, I type when I'm in chats the way that I would speak for the most part, which doesn't always translate well. Because I'll say weird things, like I'll say muscles instead of muscles. But if you write that in chat, people assume that you're making a typo. I know, right, stars? I told Trish the other day that we were obviously two atoms at the start of the universe next to each other. And I feel like we just find our people, you know? We were all just a little group of atoms at the beginning of the universe, and now we found each other again. Isn't it great? Yeah. Which is, I don't know, people make fun of the tone indicators a lot, but I think tone indicators are actually great. And I mean, to be clear, my tone indicator is LOL because I'm old. So I say LOLOL, or I say the little tongue out P emoji. Those are the two ways to make sure that I know that people are joking. Like, I'm making a funny. I also just laugh a lot in person, so adding LOL makes sense for me. Oh no, I'm way back into the LMAO. I'm never escaping that one. I didn't use it for the longest time. And then I saw a Tumblr post about how LMAO was dying, and I was like, well, that can't happen. And so I started using it again. Raffle I still use too. Actually, that reminds me of a... Hey Crispin, how you doing? That actually reminds me of another emote that I made ages ago, because I called one of my friends Raffle Waffle. So I made a Raffle Waffle emote that I could add here. Never adopt what? What is that? I just bust out laughing? Is that right? How do you even... You can't say that in a fun way. Idgebull. Like, what? It's not as much fun as Raffle or Lamau. I mean, if I actually bust out laughing, I type blah ha 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 because that's how I laugh when I laugh really loud, which I've probably done it on stream and you've noticed. But I don't know, I'm a loud laugher. I laugh a lot. Which some people find annoying, and I tell those people to go away. I don't know, my mom was always a really loud laugher too. So I noticed this is a little bit sad, but I promise that it's happy, so don't worry about it. How do I couch this appropriately? But I kind of realized at her memorial service when I was, you know, standing in a row and talking to 35 million people who would come out to support my dad, that because I've been aware that I have a loud laugh, and it used to annoy me. My mom's laugh was so loud because, like, when we were in church, you could hear her all the way across the church. Like, she would be in the sanctuary and I would be in the kitchen, and you could still hear her laughing all the way across. And I was like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing when I was a teenager. But like, I have the same laugh. So I don't know. I realized that when I was dealing with a whole bunch of people in the funeral line. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that lives on, doesn't it? So her laugh is not dead. In fact, I carry it in me. Yeah. I don't know. It's just, we are all amalgamations of all the people that we've dealt with in our lives. And sometimes that's a good thing and sometimes that's a bad thing. But, oh, I said I was going to work on this pot like 15 minutes ago and then I really didn't. I don't know. Sometimes the things that we find annoying in our youth, we discover are actually good and make the world a brighter place. So, and I spent like a long time trying to not laugh like my mom, but it's there. That's who I am. Why did I leave this blank? What? Past Katie, please jump into the chat and tell me what the fuck you were thinking, because I don't know. I do need to work on this area next to the table a little bit more too. I need to work on a lot of this a little bit more. I don't know why I'm saying just that. Maybe because it feels more accessible right now. Because we do have a lot of samey values in here. This area right here especially is all very samey. So I'm gonna need to go a little bit more intense in a few places to make up for that. Oh yeah, for sure. I think laugh definitely is partially genetic. So my mom trained as an opera singer before she had me. She gave up a career in opera to birth me, which is how I know I'm special. But so she had like an intense diaphragm, right? Which is where that big girthy laugh comes from. So I think partially it's that, but also she made all of us sing all the time. So I did musical theater in high school. And if you needed somebody to belt out the tenor, I'm your gal. I don't sing much anymore. Like, I just sing in the shower or whatever, having a fun time, because I don't enjoy the competition level that a lot of theater stuff has. I hope we all win, but yeah. I don't know, that's how I've said it, but oh, that's great. I don't know, I just think, I don't know where the rest of that sentence is going. My brain just ejected it. It's gone now. Bye. I think I wanted to add a little bit more yellow there, but I can add more orange too. So we do need a little bit more orange here, but just a little. And I think I want some new gambos over here. Just a little bit more. Yeah, exactly. I really like doing it. I have a tiny little Bluetooth speaker um, that looks like an octopus, and I use him in my shower. He's my biggest fan. He comes to all of my shows. But we're at that point where I hate the way this looks, and I know that that's because it's not done yet. But my brain is like, we need to quit right now because this is never going to be anything. Shut up, brain. That's not true. I swear, if I knew how rough having a brain was, I never would have chosen this. Yeah, okay. We're going to talk about my favorite movie of all time now because that is the soundtrack to that is what I sing to the most in the shower. So, if you haven't watched Josie and the Pussycats 2001, that's my favorite movie of all time, and the soundtrack is a banger. They taught the actors how to use the instruments well enough to play all of this music, so it's actually them singing, it's actually them playing on drums. And the music is so good, and it's so good to sing along to in the shower. Incredible. Like, if you love that early 2000s, like, kind of crunchy pop, that's it, and it's so perfect, and I love it so much. So if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. It's an underrated movie, for sure. It's completely anti-capitalist, and it makes fun of all of their, like, sponsor slots. It's so good. It's so good. And then you will understand at least 3 different sound bites that I say out loud all the time. Just like a flock of seagulls. Caw. Best line. But yeah, great movie. It's got Rosario Dawson in it. It's got Tara Reid in it. And it has the main girl whose name I never ever remember. Yeah, it's so good. I legitimately think I should make a Discord just so that we can all watch that on my birthday together. My birthday isn't until August, just for the record. But I feel like that's what I want to do for my birthday is make everybody watch my favorite movie. Why do I have an email? Oh, that's why I have an email. Yeah, that girl. I'm looking up her name because I always forget it. She's such a great actress and I just can never remember her freaking name. Rachel Lee Cook. Yeah. She's really good. She was in Psych too, which is another one of my favorite shows. One of my faves. She was in there for a while. Very different character, but still very fun. She very much plays like that early 2000s idea of the cool girl who doesn't care what other people think, which is great, and I love that. What am I working on? What do I want to work on right now? Let's work on foot. Because this one is less shape and more line. Really? But yeah, great movie. It also has Alan Cumming in it, just for the record. That's always a selling point. Which, speaking of Alan Cumming, that's something else I can talk to you guys about. I watched a new show. I watched The Traitors, which is a Peacock original. And it has Alan Cumming as the host, and he actually gets to speak in a Scottish accent for once. I don't know. I honestly think I like him better in Josie and the Pussycats, which clearly I'm biased, but I don't know. Maybe I was just a little bit too old when Spy Kids came out. Although I do you remember that like tiny pocket zoo that they had in like the second one? I think about that still all the time and how much I want one. Do you know how much I want a tiny rhino? It's so much. I want it so bad. Like a tiny little hippo that you feed grapes to like they were watermelons. Get the fuck out of here. That's so cute. I can't. Like, I was never filled with the same amount of lust as I was for that tiny little zoo. Ugh, it's so great. Can you imagine a tiny, tiny little tiger that would just curl up here and like play with my paints? That'd be so cute. It would be so cute. The world would be a better place. Is that right-ish? I think I need to do that a little darker, but I need to make this like that more. That's better. All right. Oh my god, tiny paint paw prints. Ah, that'd be so fucking cute. Ugh, I need it. I need it. Why is science working on stupid shit that we don't need? Get on tiny wild animals. Let's go. Or maybe a working bus system? That would be nice too. They have been talking about upgrading the train tracks throughout the US, which is good, but also a bit complicated. I have mixed feelings on a train system in the US. Because yes, train's good, but also we need to realize what happened the last time we tried to get a bunch of land for train tracks and try to, you know, not commit genocide about it again. Oh, that sucks, I'm sorry. It's always rough when people like change the art style, and like sometimes I really understand why they do it, but it's still like, you know. I was working on the foot. Can I keep a thought in my brain for more than a minute today? My guess is not. Because we do have some very specific light lines through here, which are going to be a pain in the butt to do properly. Which is why I said at the top of the show, I was going to try to do this almost entirely with the white of the paper instead of using a gel pen at the end, but I said I was probably going to fail in this task, and this is why. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's something that doesn't get brought up a lot in both nuclear discussion and with trains about Native Americans in general, because it's like a point we haven't fixed, you know? So it's like, it kind of kills the argument a little bit. But like, Native groups have had a really rough go of it, especially when it comes to train service and nuclear power in the United States. So, like, you know, all those tests they did out in the quote-unquote uninhabited desert? It was not actually uninhabited. And it's something that we do actually need to acknowledge. I think I need this whole foot to be just a little bit more saturated, except the highlight spots, which are like right here. I probably need to move to a smaller brush when I go back to that. I think that's closer. That's closer. Yeah, so this is a specific brand of gummy bear, which is my favorite. It's Albanese gummy bears. I'm actually going to tag them when I post this, and we'll see if I get, I don't know, some new followers or something. But they're my favorite. They have 12 different flavors. I'm not sponsored, but I could be. Just saying, Albanese. I love your product. So you could give it to me. I last Friday I sorted through a 5-pound bag of their gummy bears, and that's the second 5-pound bag I've gotten in 3 months. Um, but the reason I was sorting it out is because I don't like orange gummy bears. I don't like fake citrus flavors in general, but orange is definitely the worst offender for me. So I picked through it to pick out the orange and the grape flavors. The orange are going to Lib, who is another streamer friend. I'm gonna mail them. And grape goes to my brother because he doesn't mind fake grape flavor, and I don't like fake grape flavor. But their flavor mix is really good, so there's a lot of good options. Yeah, I don't like it. I mentioned this when we were sorting the gummy bears. I do have a theory that the fruit flavor medicine you were given the most as a child is now the artificial flavor you as an adult like least. And generally I'm proven right. There are a few outliers there, but for me, the flavors we got for medicine as kids was orange and grape, and those are my least favorite artificial flavors now. Other than banana, but that's a whole other kettle of fish, in my opinion. What? This is so big that I feel overwhelmed by deciding where I'm going next. I also have like a weird curve right there. Oh, black currant. That's not a super common flavor here, but I've had it in a few things and I like them. Albanese actually has a special fancy flavor gummy pack that has black currant in it. But you guys have like black currant in your Starburst instead of cherry, I think. At least that's how it is in North Ireland, where my friend lives. Which, hi Aiden, if you're lurking. Aiden is a lurker. I feel like I've messed up where this paw is. Like, it's fine. But that may be a problem as we continue on this path. Because that feels like too much space right here. Maybe that's actually because I've messed up the A. I don't know. I do need to overall darken up that A. Although it looks pretty good. You can tell it's an A. What else? There's a lighter spot right through here that I haven't really done properly. Because it goes like up through here. So I may peel some of this color up, actually. Hey, Elder Scala! Hi, Lesbian! How y'all doing? I brought my mini to show you, Lesbian. I remembered to bring it up. I will show you after I pick up this paint. Jelly beans! I do like jelly beans. Although I stopped eating Jelly Belly for a significant amount of time because their CEO was transphobic. I don't know if that's still the case. That was like ages ago. I don't know that that really fixed anything, but it made me feel better. Okay, so the first mini I ever painted, I talked about this last stream. Oh, I didn't know Haribo made jelly beans. Jelly Belly is like the jelly bean brand in the United States, so. We're gonna zoom. We're gonna zoom. Zoom farther, please. So this is the first mini that I ever painted. She had a mace, like a Morning Glory mace with the spikies, and I didn't like it, so I cut it off. So that's the original handle, and then I just added some wire and stuck a skull from another mini onto it. So she has a skull mace to hit you with. But yeah. There you go. I remembered. Gonna unzoom now. Bloop. Well, maybe I'm gonna unzoom now. Hey, bud. There you go. You did it! Yes, I did mean morning star. Sorry. My brain doesn't work. Oh, yeah, that's a thing that I made once. That's the only mini that I painted that I still have. That's the only one I kept. Because I started doing it because I was dating a guy who was into Warhammer and painting minis. Also fantasy minis, just to be clear. I think I still have some blank minis around the house somewhere. And I do have a gigantic set of Reaper paints. The like little dropper ones that I really didn't use enough, and they're probably completely dried up now. But you know, that's fine. Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. Oh, Scala, actually. I'm getting, hopefully, at some point set up so that I can actually do custom sticker orders. I know that that is no longer relevant to you, but that made me think of it. My current Ko-fi goal is to get a silhouette portrait cutter, which is one of the things that you can use to cut stickers. Oh, good, Harley. I'm glad they got there safely. It's so funny because I sent out 4 envelopes in the same batch, and now all of them except the one that was going to the closest place to me has arrived, and it's really funny. Yay, I'm glad you like them. What was I saying? Oh, silhouette cutter. So a silhouette cutter is similar to a Cricut, which is a Bluetooth connected cutter so that you can cut stickers or do like sticker sheets yourself that you print. So that's my current goal in Ko-fi, because I'm hoping to do at some point a sticker of the month club through Patreon or maybe through Ko-fi too. I'm not 100% sure on that. That's a bridge I will cross when I get to it. But it's relatively inexpensive. But it will also allow me to do other projects, excuse me, that I've had on like the back burner a little bit because I don't have the proper tools to do them. So I wanted to do health tracking stickers where you could write on them and stuff, which doesn't really work with my current sticker manufacturer that I'm using, who I love dearly, but their stuff is just all vinyl, so it doesn't work very well for writing on stuff. That's Sticker Ninja, in case anybody was wondering. I'm not gatekeeping the stickers. I needed to put more orange on this A. But I also think I need to do some gambos like right there and right here instead. But we do need a little bit more color on that A. No, don't call me Kate. That's illegal. I hate being called Kate. That is the one nickname that I refuse. And I will explain to you why. I dated a guy named Tate throughout high school, and a bunch of people thought they were really clever to rhyme our names all the time. And by people, I don't mean shitty teenagers. I mean every single adult in my life. So I still don't like being called Kate to this day. They ruined it for everybody. I do think I've hit the point in this project where I'm just accepting to myself that I am going to end up using gel pen in this. I mean, I will still try to use the white of the paper mostly, but there are just some super high highlights that I really can't get properly without that. Thank you. The only person who's still allowed to call me Kate is my grandma. And that's because she doesn't just call me Kate, she calls me Kate Jean. Slorp accomplished. Speaking of that, actually, I think I'm going to take a quick break. I meant to get electrolytes for myself before I started streaming, and then I promptly did not do that. So I'm going to go make myself some electrolytes and stretch and go to the bathroom and do that kind of jazz, which means that I am going to run some ads. So I'm warning you now, if you do not want to see the capitalism, you can look away, you can go do stretches, you can mute the tab. You could also subscribe if you wanted to, but like, we can let the capitalism not win in any way that we see fit. So make your choices. And I will be back in about 3 minutes.
Shed your past selves, be someone else. Yell out loud in the middle of my mouth. Four winds drown the hours, you never come out. I never
All right, I'm back. I definitely muted the wrong thing, so you guys heard me take off my headset. That's fine though. All right. Also, taking off the headset made my ears really cold, just so you know. But I'm glad that I did, otherwise you guys would have listened to me pee, which is like fine, but you probably don't want to hear that. And I did get my electrolyte potion, so we're good to go. It's cold here, which means that it's really dry. So if I remember to drink electrolytes in the morning, then I don't have a headache before I go to bed, which is great. Or if I do have a headache, it's for another exciting reason. I mean, Lib's whole brand is based around piss and gummy bears, so I feel like it's a little bit on brand, if I'm being honest. My idea is, if none of my Patreons claim this, because my patrons get first dibs on any of my original pieces before they go for sale publicly. If none of my patrons want this, then this is getting sent to Lib with the gummy bears. So. But anytime my paint water looks like piss, I send Lib a picture, because that's just how it works. That needs to be yellow. There we go. Which often, if you're working with a lot of orange, it ends up looking piss colored, but not so much today. It's just kind of like slightly yellow, which I guess is kind of piss colored, but not an intense piss color. What else do I need to do here? I need to do this. I don't think we're finishing this today. I'm just gonna come out and say that right now. I've been more chatty today than normal. Well, I don't know, more than normal, but yes. We do need a well-hydrated gummy. You can soak them in like vodka or something. But anything that has gelatin in it, if you do the vodka stuff, it makes like a truly atrocious film on the top. To be clear, I don't drink anymore, but I used to drink a lot, so I have opinions on beverages. But I definitely did sour Skittles in vodka before, and the film that it created on top was absolutely disgusting. Especially if you then mixed it with Sprite, which was what I did. Disgusting. Just absolutely disgusting. Because the thing about gelatin is that it will hold bubbles together. So you just ended up with like a weirdly spongy foam on top. Not a pleasant mouthfeel. I'll tell you that. I am making these toe beans a little rounder than they look in the actual photo because I think it'll look better. But I am doing better on this of actually following what the reference image is, which is a weakness of mine. So I'm pleased with myself for that. I have a really bad habit of like getting lines down and then completely ignoring the reference photo and just doing what I feel like should be there, which is fine, and it's partially my style at this point, I think, but also when I'm trying to do something in specific, it is not very helpful for me to disregard the thing that I'm trying to work with. Fun fact. But I do think we're getting somewhere. Oh, Goose. You left a comment on one of my Instagram photos like 2 weeks ago about liking my palette. It's this one. My intention is to record a reel responding to you about it. But if I actually end up doing that, it's been a little while. I did add a sticker to it, but once hopefully I can do that today actually because there's like enough light that I can do it without the ceiling light on. The evil ceiling light. But this is just like a super cheapo thing I got off of Amazon. I'm not even gonna lie. And it came in a 2-pack, which I didn't realize, but it came with like a binder clip to clip it open. So it's part of a travel palette set that I'm putting together. Oop. Like that, so that you can't close it and you can clip it onto whatever board you're working on. But I found it really helpful because I have my stuff split between 2 rooms. So I'll just carry this one with me to like my boudoir where I do more painting. Because I do painting all over the place. But I've been trying to set up like an actual proper travel kit, and I have my little color guide. The only issue with this one, and I showed this at the start of stream, I won't do it now because we do actually have some wet points, but once these dry, they kind of fall out of the pots, which is really annoying. So I might like pop them all out and then like scratch up the plastic a little bit so that there's more of a grip. But I will also record a video saying that if I remember. Hopefully today. But I added a sticker so that I know which side is up, because if I open it from the other side, a bunch of the paints fall out, which is really annoying. But you get it empty, so you can fill it with whatever you want. So I filled it with my usual paints. Although I probably want to change what's in there at some point, just because I just kind of shoved everything in there, but I'm getting more colors as we go. Now that also reminds me that I ordered Brain, check in please. Dot cards for the watercolor brand that I really like. And it still hasn't shipped. I ordered it over 2 months ago. Hey Bewitched! How you doing? Yeah, watercolor gummy bear. That's the plan today. I don't think I'm finishing this today because I've been talking a lot more than I've been painting. But Bewitch is also a streamer that you guys should check out. And Bewitch is very nice, which I feel like most of the people who hang out with me are very nice. Oh, that is not how commands work, Brain. Thank you. Just doing exclamation point username is not going to be helpful. But yeah, we had a good chat yesterday in Trisha's stream, so. And it's good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Of course. Us small guys gotta look out for each other. That's how this works. What am I working on? I guess I should work on this foot some more, because this is really not dark enough yet. I decided I was going to save the shadow until last, because that's like the easiest part, conception-wise, for me. So, we'll leave that. I don't know where this specific paintbrush keeps picking up tiny little fuzzies. It's probably my hoodie. Or I guess my brush wipe, maybe? Because that is made out of yarn, which is fibers, so. Which I do have, I need to take photos of that too. I have too many things to do. Why do I do this to myself? It's the brain weasels, I know it is. because I get super into something and then I do it and then I get tired of it and then I never think about it again. But I have these little brush wipes, so I made a few of these that I've been meaning to put up in my Ko-fi shop. I have not done that yet. But this is just cotton, so you can wash it and reuse it instead of using just paper towels. They don't replace like everything a paper towel can do the same way, but it definitely has cut down on the amount of paper towels I'm using when I paint. So, and I actually got a huge batch of cotton yarn to make those with from an estate sale. So I should really like get back on that at some point. That would actually be a good thing to carry with me when I go modeling, because it's like not something I particularly need to pay close attention to counting, because I came up with that pattern myself, so, and it's not super complex. But yeah, exactly. You need to do it when you have the right momentum. Yeah, I have a bunch of them. If you just want one, you should feel free to just send me your info and I'll mail you one. Because I really don't think the price that I'm going to have to sell them at is going to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not going to be worth it to a lot of people, but I also just kind of enjoy making them. And the first batch of the ones I made were all with scrap yarn that I had left over from making a certain kind of hat. Yeah, I feel like people are going to feel like it's too expensive. But really, you can reuse it. I've been reusing this same one without having washed it, and you can wash it because it's just cotton. But I've been using that same one since I made them. And how long ago did I make those? I don't understand time as a unit. I've been using it for a few months. But yeah, I've been trying to think about the carbon footprint a little bit and cut down on stuff, especially like I'm not rich and paper towels cost money. So you know how it be. I need this part to be a little darker because we've got a little bit of a light line on the edge there. So let's do that. A little bit. We are getting there. We do need more layers though, and I do think I'm going to need to do something for the darker shadows. I don't think just the orange is going to do it for me. I'm not sure what color I want to add into that. This is so bright today. It's really sunny out today. I've got a window like to the left. I about said right to my left, which directly to my left. Which means I like using natural light because I live in Alaska and we don't always get the natural light. I miss the sun. I'm ready for summer so that my brain stops trying to eat itself when it's dark outside at 3 p.m. But it does mean that lighting things is a little bit of a nightmare. I love how I lightened that up earlier and I was like, I need to remember, and then I immediately forgot. That's fine. It's fine. It's not that big a deal, legitimately. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, acrylic is such a pain for that. I've seen some people, if you're using small amounts, use one of those silicone fidget toy poppers, because you can just, so you pop the dot to make a divot, and then once it's dry, you can just pop it up and the rest of the paint will come out. So if you have anything that's silicone, you could use that and it'll make your life a lot easier in the future. Yeah, the people that I saw do that were using it to paint minis because the holes are pretty small, so it can't hold like a huge amount of paint, but that might be helpful. Or just like, I don't know what kind of palette you like to use, but just like a silicone sheet or something that you can get for like $8 at Target. would be helpful to slap on top of your regular palette if you wanted to do it that way too. Bum, 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 bum. I think I'm hitting a wall where I'm not gonna have enough brain power to do this much longer. Just as a warning to everybody. Oh, candy mold. That's a good idea. 2 stars. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. There's got to be something that'll break it up, though. Maybe oil, depending on what kind of palette you have. I use ceramic, so oil wouldn't hurt that. But oil does kind of, just general oil kind of defeats it. Yeah, that's rough for sure. I think maybe once I get this a little bit darker, I'm gonna start adding red in. Because even though that isn't really darker, it feels darker. I've got like a little bit right there, and then we go into a shape. Like that. Yeah, I have some acrylic paints. I don't have acrylic gouache. I have watercolor gouache because that's mainly what I do, but I usually use paper plates for the acrylic because I don't use it a super huge amount, so it's not too bad to use something like that for it, but acrylic really does stick on there. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's good. That's smart. I I have this cheapo baby because I like having a lot of color options, but again, different for watercolor, right? Um, but this was like 12 bucks on Amazon, I think. And I like this style where I have a big mixing space but have my colors separated in their own little pots. So I might try to find a ceramic artist who does one similar to that and get like a proper one. But I do also want to get one for the watercolor gouache at some point. Why why is art so expensive to make? Yeah. And I've gotten a lot better about mixing my own colors. I definitely for a really long time only used colors out of the tube. But we've had some growth. We believe in our capabilities now. That is a problem with the travel palette that I have, is it doesn't have a lot of mixing space. And also the mixing space is some sort of plastic, so it really doesn't clean up completely. Like the pigments dye it. Which isn't like a huge deal, but it does make me feel like it's always dirty. Because it kind of is. I may try to scrub it with some salt or something. That's fair, that's fair. Getting the right color for acrylic is really hard too, because it changes so much when it dries. Like watercolor changes a little bit when it dries, but you can still kind of guesstimate where it's going to end up. And the worst that happens with watercolor is it dries lighter, which means you can just add another layer to darken it up and it's not a huge deal. But with acrylic, yeah, I have a lot of problems getting the right mix color. Generally what I do is I write down the amount of drops that I used because I have cheapo acrylics, so they're just like dropper bottles. So I do approximately how many drops I've done of each color whenever I'm mixing a specific color so that I have the formula for next time, which is a hangover from how I used to paint minis, which I have my first mini here. So that's what I used to do too, is count how many drops of each color I used to mix. And then that way I would have at least a guesstimate of how to get back to where I was, even if it wasn't like exact. But it is, mixing acrylic is like a pain. I'm always impressed with people who can do acrylics or oils because they're different, but they're similar in that kind of big grand scheme concept that you need to have when you go in. And I'm not good at that. I do much better like this, kind of making patchy bits and then figuring out where I'm at. I'm also very much I enjoy being able to get a painting done in one sitting, which you really cannot do with oils. Me and oils don't get along well. I've done exactly one oil painting in my life. Well, that's not necessarily true. I did a bunch of little ones leading up to the big one, but it was definitely not my favorite. Yeah, I've seen wet pellets too. Yeah, I think maybe if you had just like a wet cloth underneath the silicone mat, it would probably do both of those things. Yeah, they are a needy medium for sure. I was talking to I mentioned this to you yesterday, I think. I'm doing nude modeling for the local college here. So I've been talking with the professors about what they do, which they always seem surprised that somebody's asking what kind of art they do. And I'm like, but you're an artist, bro. What do you do? um, but I had like basically the same conversation with one of the teachers, which is like I cannot do oils. They take so much thought. And so they're like a needy girlfriend. They really are. They're like, you didn't call me 3 times this week. And the teacher I was talking to does mostly graphite. So we were kind of on the same page. Yeah, they do, for sure. Yeah, I admire it so much, but it's definitely not a medium for me, which is fine. I don't need to be able to do everything in the world, no matter how much my brain wants me to. I need to like really deepen up right here. We've got a really, excuse me, dark shadow right there. Oh, maybe I should put my reference photo on the screen for you guys. Would that be helpful? Is that interesting to you? Or is that just like in the way? Like, I can't get it set up right now because my computer will implode, but I could get that set up for next time if we are interested. Because we definitely will continue working on this next time. It does match our color of the month, but I already finished 3 projects for that, so if I don't get this done for that, it's not a huge deal. This is one of those spots where I do need to deviate from the reference image a bit because all the color right there is very samey, so. Yeah, I mostly did digital for a really long time, but that was because my depression was so bad that I really couldn't conceptualize doing anything that involved multiple steps to get set up. Okay. I've been saying nice stuff about myself like all day today. I just want to point that out. Compliment about myself. I think I've been doing really good at making friends lately. I think that I've been very friendly and like outgoing more than normal, so I've actually made a lot of new friends. So like instead of cringing, I've just been going, "Hi, you're neat." Which I'm very proud of myself for because as a former bullied kid, that's a big step. And I will take a sippy. Because like I was talking with Bewitch yesterday about making friends. Um, and I mentioned that I'd made friends in some of the classes that I'd been modeling in. And basically what happened is I saw some kids who were like asking me questions and stuff like that. I shouldn't say kids. They're college age. But I'm old, so they're babies. Not all of them, but and basically I managed to make friends with all the ones who looked queer. That's how it went. Cuz I have do I have an example sitting next to me? I probably do. I have the little sticker backings that I use um, to pack my stickers with, but I did a printing error at one point, so I had a bunch of these that have like my username and then the socials that I'm on at the bottom, but I messed them up and so the front wasn't printed correctly. So I turned them into like a memo pad. And so I just brought a pad with this in my backpack so that I can give it to people. I was just like, here, we should be friends. And I just handed it to the people that I'd been talking with that I liked. And it worked. Now we're Instagram friends. So, yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard, Bewitch. And I definitely work on that all the time. All the time. I work very hard at saying thank you and not why would you do that and stuff like that. Um, so, yeah, and I do it that way because it's not like, hey, what's your username? It's putting it in their hands. So if they don't want to be friends, they just don't look me up, and that's fine. But if they do want to be friends, they have the power to do that, and I'm not pushing them about it, right? So not being, I'm very cautious about being that creepy older person who's hanging out on campus. Because there were definitely some of those when I went to school there too. And one of them was absolutely not there with good intentions, for sure. Um, so I try to be careful about that too. Oh, do you guys want to see the reference image? I just have it up on my iPad. Look, we have a ways to go still, but it looks like a gummy bear. We're doing pretty good, I think. So yeah, I don't know. Those are my hot tips. If anybody else has tips for making friends, go for it. Because for the most part, the people hanging out in chat are around the same age. So yeah, yeah, for sure, Bewitch. Um, and I think part of that is just one being an artist, because we're always more critical on ourselves than other people. Um, but also when you're working on something, you see all those things that didn't go the way you wanted it to. And people who are just looking at your art don't see that. That would work on me, Bewitch. What kind of muffin? Yeah. I do have mostly online friends. I don't have a super huge amount of like in-person friends anymore. So, all right, I'm a lemon poppy seed muffin kind of girl, so we can do that. Although I don't kick most muffins out, except for blueberry sometimes. I'm allergic to something that's an artificial blueberry sometimes, but not always. So anything with blueberries in it, I'm a little suspicious of if I didn't make myself anymore. I do think I need to deepen this up. I think this is not saturated enough. Maybe add a little bit more orange to it and not just the gamboge. Perhaps, perhaps. Mmm. I love muffins. Muffins are just so good. I love quick breads just in general. Cause it's like, man, I want a bread, but could you make it quick? And then you can just have a bread, and it's great. I do kind of want to make some pumpkin bread. Maybe I should ask my brother to pick up pumpkin at the store. Love a pumpkin bread. Challah is so good. Oh my god, it's delicious. Oh, my brother just texted me saying apparently there was a big earthquake. Did anybody notice it? I was just saying like last week how I thought it would be funny, like one, that we were due for a big earthquake, and two, that it would be really funny if it happened while I was streaming. Oh, the 5.3. That is pretty big. I'm in Alaska, so technically West Coast, I guess, but West Coast, but different. Yeah, and it's just constant. We constantly have earthquakes. I'll pull up my earthquake app and show you. Oh, I guess the 5.3 hasn't shown up on here yet. Oh, it's probably far enough away from me because I have limits on it, but like, this is a list of earthquakes that have happened in the past 2 days that are above 2.0. I don't have anything lower than a 2 on my list because you can filter it. But 2 and above is generally where I might feel it. So, oh yeah. I grew up in Oregon and then moved up here for 2006. Yeah, it's absolutely normal for Alaska. We've got a lot of fault lines in the ocean, like off to the side. So we're basically, us in Japan, if one of us have a big earthquake, the other one gets a tsunami warning kind of a deal. Because we're like on opposite sides of the big ocean rifts. We also have earthquakes up here. Or, that's not what I mean. I mean volcanoes. Yes, we were talking about earthquakes. I mean volcanoes. Mount Redoubt is the one that exploded most recently, although that was a while ago, because that's when I was working at Papa John's, so that would have been in like 2008, maybe? That seems about right, 2008. But yeah, we're wild country, which includes bears, moose, earthquakes, and volcanoes. Oh yeah, moose are big. If you're late to work in Alaska, you can say there was a moose by my car, and that's like a normal excuse that people will understand, because moose are scary. Oh yeah, Stars streams too, Bewitched, if you want to hang out with her sometime. Whoop. Stars is very nice as well. Good person to hang out with and force friendship upon. You knew I thought that already. I guess it never hurts to hear it again though, huh? Perfect. Stars is a big snack person. This is a fact. One of the things that you can do with channel points in her stream is grab a snack from the snack pile, and it gives you like a randomly selected snack from the pile, and it's great. I added some to the pile, and it's great. Yeah, isn't it great? I love it. It's such a cute idea. And it keeps track of how many times you've used the that's good, Scala. Actually, you know who I've been flirting with the most? This is just going to out myself entirely, but that's fine. Is the person who I'm thinking about I say thinking about, is the person who I'm going to commission to do a PNG tuber for me, which is why I've been running my streams with Discord up to see if I could manage it. But I think just like a little guy right here would be great, wouldn't it? Or maybe over here. I don't know. We'll discover when we get there. But I've been flirting with him something hardcore. Oh, drawing a PNG tuber. So you know those little drawings that react to your voice that people do? One of those. Because I started trying to draw myself and I got into a really bad brain space really, really fast. And I was like, you know what? I know somebody who's one, really cool, two, knows how to draw big booba, and three, is taking commissions for this. So I will just hire him to do that. I just need to put together a reference sheet to send him about once I decide what I actually want. Because I have an idea, but I don't know how to convey that in words yet. I need to stew on it for a little bit longer. Because I have a specific outfit I decided that I needed my PNG tuber to be wearing. It does not need a camera start. So the one that I'm looking at is I'm not going to remember the name of the thing. I can send you the link to, because I'm looking at it through Streamlabs, but there's another program that you can add onto Discord that will react to your voice, so you don't need a camera for it. VTubers are the ones that need cameras, but you can just use your phone for that too. That's what Lib does, and a few other people that I follow and hang out with. But that one has a camera that's tracking your face. Thank you, lesbian. I considered calling you out. I was like, I know lesbian knows what it's called, but I didn't want to call you out a lurk if you were vibing. Oh, is it frozen? I hope not. It may be that my laptop is about to explode. No, it seems okay. How's my bitrate looking? Okay, just a hiccup. I hope. My bitrate looks okay. But that doesn't always mean something, you know? But my laptop is not really made for streaming. What was I writing down? I was writing down to send stars the reactive thing. That's not the right word. But the thing, there's like a whole background brain process to this PNG tuber for me, because eventually I want to replace this camera, and then this camera will become a face cam. So at some point that's going to be a thing, but good art cams are not cheap, and I absolutely do not want to buy another one of these because these suck. These suck for art. I hate you, Logitech. I hate you. But one of my goals this year is to take more photos of myself, which you might have noticed because my going live message had a selfie today, as a way to like actually let myself exist as a person. So I don't want to hide behind a PNG tuber that doesn't look like myself, which a lot of people who do PNG tubers like cutify themselves or do like a furry PNG tuber, which is totally fine, and I'm not judging those people for doing this. I just know that it's not the right choice for me, because I think hiding behind something that doesn't look like my actual person is how I got to the point where my brain doesn't recognize my body. So, oh my god, sentient pumpkin. I love that. I love that. Just, she's giving Jack from Animal Crossing. That's great. Oh, one of my little paintings that I did a stack of pumpkins. This is going to be blurry because I have autofocus off, but little pumpkins and little sushis, which I meant to post in Rainbow's Discord, and then I didn't. But I want something that looks like me, so it's not like a huge shot going between the two. Because some days I'll At some point, I will have a face cam. Um, but yeah, was there a point to that? Was there a point I was getting to with that? I don't know. I am just a vessel for the words that my brain decides to spout and nothing else. I do love the idea of a sentient pumpkin though. Yeah, so I did do a drawing of me when I did my Meet the Artist on my birthday. I did this for a birthday stream. So that's kind of me. I'm fatter than that, if I'm being honest. But that was fine. And I do love Gremlin mode me. Um, I'm thinking I can get 2 PNG tubers done so I can get like me dressed up to meet people and me in Gremlin mode, which is, if I'm honest, is how I'm streaming 90% of the time. Yeah, this is a pinned post on my Instagram if you want to get a closer look at it. And I was thinking I'd redo one of these every year on my birthday, but I don't know that I want to do another one this year. It's still a whiles off. My birthday's in August, but we can make a decision about it then. I don't know that much has changed. Maybe goals. We have made good progress on our goals here, because I made a pendant. I didn't make a patch yet. Maybe that'll be something to do for the next Color and Focus in February. Oh, maybe not. It's a short month. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I have drawn myself before, but when I started thinking about how I move and had to take like reference photos of kind of like what I wanted it to look like, my brain like just rocketed me into a really bad headspace. So like sometimes it's fine, sometimes it's not fine. But I could do something in that will both improve the stream and also give me a chance to support one of my friends. So I think I'd rather do it that way. There are some things that I would rather make myself, like my emotes. But I can also not make things when they stress me out. That's a fair thing for me to release myself from. Look, she's learning how to accept help and learning how to ask for it. Who is she? The mental illness is gone? That's a lie. She is thriving. But I definitely, this past year, have definitely gotten better at asking for help. And I know, like, I've done some soul searching and I know exactly why I have issues asking for help. But maybe we're undoing some of that. Maybe I'm getting a little bit better about it. It is still difficult, but we made an effort. And wild to discover that people actually want to help me sometimes. I don't have to solve everything on my own. Wild concept. But like I ended up in a situation last year where I needed to update my resume immediately, and the majority of the people who were my references are now dead, which was great to find out in the middle of everything else. But I asked some online friends to do that, and every single person I asked immediately offered to help, and it was just really incredible. Yeah, yeah. Yep, exactly. Bewitch. Oh my God, we're so on the same page with this. I'm like that too. Oh my God. So one of the reasons I started keeping a journal was so that there was something that had a big sample of my handwriting so that they could compare it if somebody like if I died and they needed to figure out if I had actually written a suicide note or something. Like, fun fact, this is not a normal way to interact with the world, but this sure is the way that I do. But yeah, I think the same thing. I always think like, okay, which photos would I want people to use at my funeral and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. Some of us are morbid and it's fine. Although honestly, so my mom died at the beginning of 2023, like literally on the first day of 2023. And figuring out all of the songs and stuff for her funeral was like so hard. So I've been thinking about like what my playlist should be because I want to leave a playlist so that it's not as difficult for other people to figure out. Because good Lord, was that a trial? Yeah, exactly, Bewitch. Exactly. No, no, you're fine. You're fine. I'm like that too, honestly. So like my comfort show, well, I guess I have two comfort shows now. My original comfort show was Forensic Files. Like that's my nap show. Again, not normal. And for people not to know, Forensic Files is a show about true crime where they show how forensics have solved different murder cases. Um, is that a normal thing to listen to while you're sleeping? Probably not. But the narrator is so nice and chill. And then the second one is Kitchen Nightmares, which is just like a lot of shouting. I don't know. My brain is a strange, strange place. See, that's on my list to watch this year because I haven't watched Twin Peaks before. And I should. I should. Will I get to it? We'll see. But I would like to give it a go. I don't think it's kind of like the usual show that I would watch, but it is like one of those cult classic kind of things. So, yeah, I love Forensic Files so much. For a while, they had every single episode on YouTube, and then somebody else bought the rights, and it broke my heart. Because, like, buying all of Forensic Files digitally is like $300. I don't got that money. Just let me have it. Just let me have it. Just let me, gimme, gimme, gimme. I should be allowed a mental health stipend that buys me all of Forensic Files. I don't know. We still have a fair amount of work to do on this guy, but I don't know. I think we're nearing a spot where I'm not going to manage to actually make any more progress on this because my brain is done. Gotcha, gotcha. I'm generally okay with that stuff. I have a couple triggers, but it's not stuff you run into in a TV show very often, so. Although it does make Halloween a goddamn nightmare to deal with online. Um, fun fact. Let's see. I think I'm gonna sit here and fold some stars for the bucket for a bit while we chat, because I'm like not done streaming, but I am done painting. You dig me? Yeah, I know that much, because it is a favorite on Tumblr, which is where I spend all my time. So, basically. I've taped this painting down, which proves problematic. Oh, I can do that. Oh, yeah. I don't have a huge problem with spiders in general, but I talk about this other places, so I'm not worried about saying it here. But one of my major triggers is Nightmare Before Christmas, which kind of sucks on a number of levels. And especially the This Is Halloween song, which is basically impossible to avoid on social media in October and December. So, yeah. And also Hocus Pocus is another one, which sucks because something bad happened to me during Halloween. So. Okay, pulling an affirmation card for stars. I'm shuffling these over here, but I promise I'm shuffling them good. Alright. Left or right, stars? Left or right? It's fine. It was a long time ago, but it still gets me every once in a while. I tried to watch when I was in college. I was like, it's time. I'm over being like this. All right, left. You are growing into the person you're meant to be. I like that for you, stars. Oh no, that's all good. You're good, Bewitched. Don't worry about it. It's not Halloween in general, it's just like those two specific movies. And I manage. I just tend to stay off of Instagram during a lot of October. Yeah, I think that's nice for you. But thank you for the warning, Bewitch. I appreciate that consideration. Yeah, so this is me just completely losing my sentence. I have a command for this. I'll just do that. Um, so this is the person who runs Positively Present on Instagram as well as other places. You can find all the links on her website. And she made a little, I call it an oracle deck. It's not really an oracle deck. Um, it's an affirmation deck that has a bunch of cute cards in it that give you little messages like that. I think I'm going to end up unhappy on this with these sections right here that are just like wide swaths of the same color. Because they aren't going to feel as detailed as everything else. Even though that's like accurate, it's going to drive me nuts. Which, so many things drive me nuts, it's fine. But let's... Are you dry now? Not quite. I was going to say, can I set that on top of you? Not yet, is the answer. What color do I want? Let's do some orange. Let's do some orange. That's on brand. So I have this bucket of stars here, origami stars, that I have channel point commands for, but I also just add stuff to it when I feel like I'm waiting for something to dry or I need to do something with my hands while I'm talking. Although I should figure out who might be online that I feel like reading today. Because usually we'd go bother Lib, but unfortunately Lib is ill. So no Stream, because they need to rest. It's pretty simple. So I should bring that jar up here at some point. I have a gigantic jar that's almost completely full of stars. This was one of the things that I started doing when my depression was really bad and I needed to do something creative to try and get me out of it. But I really didn't have the wherewithal to do like actual art, if that makes sense. I needed to do something creative that didn't take a lot of brain power. So I started folding these. And I still remember because I folded so many. But it's pretty simple. So basically you tie a knot with the paper. And you want to try to make it so that you don't have too much of a tail on the end. But you tighten it up and then tuck the tail in. And this is where I'm really bad at it. This one is just barely right. But sometimes I have to trim the ends off. These papers I just bought a big batch of off of, I think, eBay. Then you pretty much just wrap the rest of the tail around the star. And there are people who have done better tutorials than this, just in case that wasn't clear. And you just kind of fold it around until you run out of paper. And then tuck the end in. And most people just kind of pinch the corners to make the fold. I use my fingernails because I like the sharper fold, but just kind of poke in between and it'll puff up. And sometimes if you haven't wrapped it tight enough, it'll kind of bend in on itself and not puff up the right way. And usually if that happens, it's easier to just start over. But it can be frustrating. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Like this is something that you can teach kids to do and stuff like that. So it's not super complex. It is a little bit fiddly, especially if you're doing small ones. But they sell paper that's made specifically for doing this. So I have like some glitter paper. I have super tiny ones that I cut myself to do the tiny stars with. But they make ones that have like glow in the dark letters on them. They make like Totoro papers. They make all sorts of stuff. Or you can just buy quilling paper if there are colors that you prefer. But I have like boxes and boxes of this paper. Yeah, this one is just barely gonna fit there. I thought I was gonna have to cut it. Boop, boop. Boop. Okay, I think I'm gonna start looking for somebody to raid because TMI time, I really have to pee again because I hydrated and drank a lot of tea. So I'm gonna see who's live. We can go bother somebody else for a little bit. So yeah, so most of these are either I've been folding extra ones or people have redeemed them and get to pick the color. But watch out, this is a warning I should give you. If you're buying paper, watch out for the glitter ones. It sounds like a good idea, but the paper is a lot thicker because it's actually plastic. So it's a lot harder to deal with. If I do too many of those, since I use my fingernail to fold them, I actually get a bruise underneath my fingernail. So that's the only one that's limited. So watch out. It's very pretty, but watch out. I don't want you to hurt yourself. Yeah, it's fine. I just have it limited of how many I can do. I think I have it limited to like 15. But there was a time when I was making a bunch of stars to put in plastic Christmas ornaments to give out at my parents' party. And I definitely injured myself. Because I got those brain weasels. If I want to do something, I'm going to do it like way too hard. That was not what I wanted to pull up, but that's fine. I can look on my phone to see who's live, and then it won't stress out my laptop, or for a moment at least. Oh, Rainbow's live. We can go bother Rainbow. Perfect. Oh, yeah. It's just one of those things where, like, when your brain latches onto something, you just want to keep going. Which, it's the ADHD. For me, at least, I think. Let me pull up Rainbow Stream so that I'm not left behind in my own raid. I want to mute that tab, please. Thank you. And instead of typing that name, I can be smart and copy it instead. Okay, I completed all of those. So that's good. Let me switch over to the ending screen just so that people who are coming in know that I'm ending. I don't know that I have anything particular to say today. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for chatting with me. Thanks for being my friends. Thanks for making me look forward to the next day of my life. Just a little heartfelt genuine there, because I do look forward to streaming and I look forward to hanging out with my friends because I know you guys will be here. So I really appreciate the consistency of the people who show up regularly and chat with me. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for letting me know you. So make sure you know you're loved today because I love you, okay? Promise. Yeah, I'm glad. I try. So let me like actually start the raid. That's generally what you do when you try to raid somebody. There we go. Okay. Rainbow is vaguely intended for a mature audience, but Rainbow does not curse ever. So I will put in our raid commands because we have those now. So the first one is if you're a sub, because that emote is a follower emote, which you can use in other channels if you sub. And the other one is if you aren't subbed, and it just uses standard emojis, so you don't need to worry about it. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for hanging out. It's always a pleasure to see you guys. Remember, you're loved. Be nice to yourselves, be kind to yourselves, take care of yourselves. And if you can't do that for yourself, please do it for me, because I think that you're nice and you deserve good things. And that includes from yourself, okay? So do something nice for yourself. Go get a little treat. Go do something that you've been putting off that will make life easier for your future self, okay? Be good to yourselves, both present you and future you, and past you. That one's really hard. I will be live again on Tuesday. Like I mentioned, I am going to start modeling again, which means some streams may be canceled. So keep an eye on schedule and socials, and I'll update you guys as soon as I know. And until then, take care of yourselves, and I'll be back later. Bye.